zebra is not a bad thing because, as I mentioned, zebra is traditional. And I get that part.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are in the safe zone. I look at it a little bit differently, especially with the day and age that we're in. Whereas if you're going to build a business, let's just say as a speaker,
Yes.
well, you might need to have a book. Well, you might need to have a program because when you get on the stage, what are you selling when you get up there? So you're automatically, based on this example, you're already a speaker, an author, and a coach. I mean, there's three things. I might go a little deeper and I might say, well, while you're on this major platform and you are doing this women's experience, maybe we should have a candle line because why not? I am a believer of having fun and doing what you love. So sometimes when I create these things, it's creative branding. It's having fun. I'd never like to put someone into something that they're not enjoying and they're not having fun, or it feels like work, or it feels like a task or job. For me, it's been the freedom. And I think the freedom of it all is what makes you happy and what makes you fulfilled when you wake up in the morning. And that's why for me, getting people to that lion place, or even if it's one thing, you could be a lion and be doing one thing, you know? But how are you doing it?
Tiana Von Johnson.
Hi.
Welcome to our podcast. Listen, I had the privilege of meeting you, what was that, earlier this year. We did a speaking event at NJPAC.
Yes.
And I had the privilege. You are a whole party in a box.
Thank you.
So please.
Thank you.
Please just share with our audience, like, who is Tiana Von Johnson?
Who is Tiana Von Johnson?
Listen, you are not going to become a millionaire in a month. However, you can be provided with all the tools to become a millionaire in the years to come. So join us for our Win Big Bids Proposal Writing Masterclass, where I'm going to teach you the anatomy of proposal writing, the psychology, the languaging, everything that you need to bundle in a packet and to submit to your local municipality or your local corporation so that you can win and win big. Click the link below to learn more.
Well, we're going to have to start from Little Tiana.
Right.
So Little Tiana is from the Bronx, New York. BX, stand up. Broop, broop, broop. I know you're from there. Okay. So now it's me, you, and Cardi B. Okay. But no, just a girl from the Bronx who decided to go for it and kind of going through this thing called life, trying to figure it out. A child going from mother's house to father's house and having those two different dynamics. My mother being more of the creative side, definitely poverty stricken. My father, same deal, but my father was more of an entrepreneur. So my father had us selling records on 125th Street, my brothers and I, and really learning how to hustle. Now, my father sold records. He told some other things too. We're not going to talk about that here on this podcast. But, you know, being from the Bronx and going through life, raising children, he had to do what he had to do. But through him, I got the hustle. I got the tenacity. I got the ambition to work, to build, to grow. My father to this day has never worked for anyone. And so I think I picked up on that. So just kind of figuring out life, going from these two different dynamics and ultimately building who I am today.
So, I mean, how did we get from, I mean, you are like a mogul, okay? You are an entrepreneurial builder, okay? So to just tell us a little bit about, like, what do you do? Who do you serve? What is your thing?
Well, today, I serve people who just want to go for it. You know, people who, like me, when I was going through my journey in the Bronx, trying to figure it out, people who I like to call them are lions. I've coined the term a lionpreneur because then that's a different mindset, right? Entrepreneurs are one thing, lionpreneurs are another thing.
Well, tell me about that.
Yes.
What's the what is the difference? Let me.
Okay. So what I teach is traditional entrepreneurship, which is your, what I like to call kind of your fixed mindset or your zebra mindset, right? So there's nothing wrong with doing things very traditional, okay? Traditional is you go to school, you get a good job, you kind of escalate through the normalcy of life. Maybe you have some ambition to do certain things, but for the most part, you're doing kind of business as usual. Mm-hmm. On the other side, the lionpreneurs are really here to shake some things up.
Let's go.
Yeah, lions are going to shake it up. Lions are not going to do anything traditional. Now, we may go to school. I did. I got my bachelor's at 20. I got my MBA at 21. By 22, I was applying for my doctorate degree. But I didn't do that because I was a lion. At that time, I did it because tradition. I did it because they said just go to school. Mm-hmm. So again, even me at that time, I'm going from lion to zebra, which is traditional to non-traditional. Mm-hmm. So as you are going through this thing called life as a lion, you start to look at life differently. And you start to say, they're all going this way. Maybe I should go that way. Now, you don't know what's down there. It's scary. It might be a little dark. But there's something inside of you that says, I need to go where everybody else is going. We don't follow the herd. Mm-hmm. You know, we go into that lion's den of life, and we go into it strong. Maybe a little bit of fear, but we go into it strong. So today, lions are those who are making it happen. We are going for it no matter what. We're going to take our L's, I call it, as that's our wounded lion season.
Right.
But we're going to bounce back stronger than ever.
So that's one of the things I do definitely believe is in, I was 29 years old when I started my business. I was scared. if I were to tell the truth, but you know what? I was so fed up with the status quo. And I realized if I continue, nothing. So I worked in a corporate office, corporate structure, and I had the privilege of working next to. She was a beast. Mm-hmm. She was at the top of her game in her industry, and rubbing shoulders next to her every day. But there was nothing in me that desired to be anything like her, right? Because normally that's the natural progression, right? Yeah. Like you should desire that next step. You should desire like, oh, I want to be the boss one day because that's how the bosses do it. Yeah. And there's something admirable about that level. Right. But for me, it was just like, no, there's nothing there for me that I would desire or want for my life. Yeah. So in terms of like those that you work with, this, you're grabbing these zebras, and you're turning them into lions, right? To say, I know you feel it too. Don't go that way. Go this way. Yeah. And so tell me about like the path. Do you specifically work with women? Do you work with men?
Everybody.
And tell me about that path that you take them through. Because I know you've done, let's stop. You've done many things. Yes. So let's just talk about you. Let's talk about your path. And then we can get into like the path that you help lead those that you work with.
All right. So I did do the zebra route, and I did go the corporate route, and I was doing all the things as normal. And even in my normal, I was still six figures. I was still, by the time I was 25 years old, I was working in a corporate HR job. I was killing it. I was doing to the average person, I was doing okay. But there was that thing, I like to call it that thing on the inside of me that said, there's more out here. So where you looked at the person and said, I looked at certain people like watching MTV Cribs and Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and I was saying
there's something else.
Yeah. And you got to remember, and I don't know where you grew up in the Bronx, but where I grew up in the Bronx, I wanted to get out of everywhere I was at. But I think I just wanted more, and I only saw more on those shows. So more looked like the big yachts, the big houses, but more importantly for me, it was the freedom of it all. It was, if you have money to do those things, you will have the freedom to live the life that you want. So by the time I was 25, 26 years old, I had made a decision that I was going to walk out of my 9-to-5 job. And I did just that. With all the fear that was in me and all the zebras telling me don't do it, I did it anyway. Did I know where I was going? Not necessarily. And see, that's the problem. Most people will not go if they don't know.
Yes.
I went even without knowing, and I ended up looking for a part-time job that would give me full-time income. My thought process was real estate or bartending. Now, I did go to that bartending class for one day. Let's just say I can't mix a drink to save your life or mine. But I found myself in New York City on Wall Street. And so my start was in real estate, not because I loved real estate, because it was a part-time job that I knew if I did a couple of deals can give me big money. Right. But why did I want the big money? not to dump into these houses and these cars and all this luxury I wanted, to dump it into the things that I really wanted to do. And that is what I teach entrepreneurs. Get a little bit of money in something, even if you don't love it, so that you can now put it into something that you really aspire to do. So I took my real estate money. Now, mind you, and I'll share that whole story because that was a journey. But just to fast forward a little bit, I took my real estate money, and the lion started to develop even stronger. And that lion was telling me, do it all, push forward, live out your dreams. And one of the first things I did was I filmed myself doing real estate in New York City with a group of women. And I took that footage. I ended up going to NBC Style Network. I got my own TV deal. And it was at that moment that I really understood the power of celebrity and the power of your name. And I branded my name from that point forward, and everything from that point turned to gold because I leveraged my name, I learned the power of my name, and I've built everything off of my name. So that's kind of the start of it all. I took my name and I started to build things with it, whether it was my Ambition brand by Tiana Von Johnson, my Rare brand by Tiana Von Johnson, doing books, coaching, speaking, teaching, just doing so many things. Today, I have a skincare line, I have a board game, but it's really because I am a believer of having fun and doing what you love. So sometimes when I create these things, it's creative branding. It's having fun. I'd never like to put someone into something that they're not enjoying it and they're not having fun, or it feels like work, or it feels like a task or a job.
So we were talking a little bit earlier before we started, and we definitely have two different perspectives.
Yes.
Not saying either one is right or either one is wrong, but I definitely wanted to address this.
Yes.
In our pursuits, so oftentimes I deal with, a lot of high level C-suite executives, management, people that are looking to make that transition from, their full-time jobs. They understand that it's a leash.
Yeah.
They understand that they're working for somebody else, and they understand as soon as they can find someone else to do it cheaper, they're out the door. And so these individuals are looking to transition into something else that's going to allow them more freedom.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I find that entrepreneurs are the smartest people that I know. Like people who have made the decision.
Yeah.
They might not know what they want to do right now,
Yeah.
but they've made the decision to become entrepreneurs. And so, they come into my office, we have and engage in a conversation, and it's like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And before you know it, they're pouring their resources and their money and their time, and they're splitting it up amongst several different things. And so my advice always is you got to pick one until you're able to get that. So I have what we call the campaign, convert, and commission system.
Okay.
And it's like everything that I teach is based off the word, is based from the Bible.
Oh, nice.
And so Jesus came, he had a campaign. He said, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Conversion. He had two different types of conversion. One where people wanted to become, let's say, employees. They want to work for you, right? You're doing work that is attracting the best and the brightest. And then you have your customers. These are those that were healed. These are those who were enlightened, all right? And these are those that go out into the marketplace and tell other people to get, to buy, to procure your thing, whatever that is. And then you have commission. Now, from what I teach, you're not really able to do a new thing until you get to the commission stage. So the commission stage is the stage at which that thing is an asset, meaning you're not building it, you're not figuring out what works anymore, but you have trained the team to become its own animal, right? You've built this business now that kind of just runs and it's its own thing. And then now you can move on to another thing. So I see you I see you bursting at the seams.
I'm cringing.
All right. I see you bursting at the seams. So campaign, convert, commission. So even Jesus, when he came here, he said, I go to prepare a place for you. That means the place that he was preaching and telling us about wasn't even built yet. Right. So he came to finalize what it is that he was doing before he left. And he said, I will come again to receive you unto myself, that where I am, ye may be. So, but he commissioned them to do the work, right? Mm-hmm. So with that, so I believe that a thing has to work in a system kind of like on its own with very minimal intervention from you before you can go on and jump into a new thing.
Yeah.
So tell me now about your perspective.
Okay, copy. Well, first of all, I love your biblical worldview. In fact, I'm 4 weeks into my PhD in psychology.
Ooh,
and
let's
it's
go.
with a biblical worldview. So I'm loving that. That's first of all. Second of all, I do love your philosophy. But your philosophy is a zebra philosophy. And Jesus may have been a zebra. Oh, no. Sorry, Jesus. I'm just joking. No, zebra's a lion. Jesus is a lion.
Listen, we not Catholic out here, but we spraying some holy something in the room.
I'm kidding. But no. And again, zebra is not a bad thing because as I mentioned, zebra is traditional. So what you're teaching is get it where it needs to be before moving on. And I get that part.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are in the safe zone by following that model. So it's not a wrong model.
Right.
However, I look at it a little bit differently, especially with the day and age that we're in. Whereas if you're going to build a business, let's just say as a speaker.
Yes.
Well, you might need to have a book. Well, you might need to have a program because when you get on the stage, you have to, what are you selling when you get up there? So you're automatically, based on this example, you're already a speaker, an author, and a coach. I mean, there's three things. So from your example, it would be let's build the speaker side.
But I see those as all related.
Okay,
that's
so
all
then
a part
we're
of the
talking about
business.
the same thing. But I might go a little deeper and I might say, well, while you're on this major platform and you are doing this women's experience, maybe we should have a candle line because why not? Because why not? They're there anyway and they're going to want to spend some money. So why not spend it with you? So, but I'm also not saying jump out the window. I'm also not saying dump all the money into this. I'm saying that look at what you're about to do, who you're about to go in front of, and start to think about what that looks like so that you can have something else for that person to spend money with you.
Yes.
So it's daring, it's risky, but it's just the way that I've moved.
I know. I totally get it. And the truth really is I respect it, especially for those who can like manage it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Because that's huge.
Because Tiana, what don't you have? Come, give me a list.
Everybody can't manage it. It's a lot.
Give me a list. You sing.
Well, I don't sing, I don't rap, but I did go into that studio and I sang and I rapped.
You dropped some bars.
That I did. No, but even that, right? I like to call it the domino effect of branding. My goal or my initial concept was to go into the studio and do a motivational song or a motivational piece. Really just something to come on stages to, right? But that vision, because of the lion mind that I've developed, said, maybe I should do 2 motivational pieces. Maybe I should do 5. And then that turned to 12. And then that turned to a whole album. And then that turned to a movie. And then that turned to that movie getting put on Amazon Prime, which go to Amazon Prime and get Motivator Volume 1 Therapy. But the point is, it started with one thing that because of my mindset and because of the domino effect, things started to come because I took action. And I think that's the key more than anything, because we can talk to people about all kinds of things, but it's all in action. It's all in execution. And most people, it's hard for them to actually execute.
So you got to tell me, because let me tell you something. The first time I heard you speak, and you dominated the room, honey. Okay. Who were your mentors?
You know, that is such a great question for me, because for a long time, well, even till this day, I've taken pieces as I've grown along the way. And like, if I really want to talk about my first mentor, is my father, like watching him hustle and watching him negotiate and learning from him. And then as I would get into the speaker space, I would see dynamic speakers and what they would do. And then I would see dynamic books and say, this book looks great. And then, so I feel like my mentorship wasn't necessarily from a person sitting me down. I think now I have quite a few.
Right.
But I think along the way, I was kind of figuring it out. Like I did not have it all together. And I think even that, a lot of times people won't take action because they don't have it together and they don't have the proper mentorship.
And that I do agree with you with. It's like, if you don't take that step, and I could not have imagined, I know it's that inertia that you have to get over to really begin taking those steps. And sometimes we do what we see other people, or what we think we see other people do. Yeah. And sometimes, in trying to do what they do, it is not lining up.
Yeah.
Right. But even just and we were just talking about this a little bit earlier today. God is not upset about us with the steps that we take. It's not taking the steps. It's not it's knowing that he put something in your heart to do and you're not moving in that direction.
Absolutely.
And so I just watched you work that stage and I said, this woman is a professional. This woman is a lion. Okay. And one thing that we both have in common is y'all got to get out these 9-to-5s. Okay. Y'all got to get out these 9-to-5s and you got to live on purpose.
Or go into your 9-to-5 with a lion mind. Because if you go into your lion mind with if you go into your 9-to-5 with a lion mind, then you'll move differently. You might actually even start liking it enough to do the things that you have to do while you're there. So when it's done, it's all set up. See, I jumped out with nothing set up. And I don't necessarily think people should do that. I'm not saying that I did it, but I'm not necessarily jump out with nothing, right?
Gotcha.
But if you're working, if I had to do it all over again, that is the one thing I would do differently. While I was at that 9-to-5, I would be saving my money. I would be doing all the things. I mean, I tell people, don't leave until you are bursting out the seams and you absolutely cannot be at this job another day. Not mentally, because I think some of us are there, right?
Well, see that's what it was for me, right? Yeah. Because I had so many different types of bids. There are thousands of different types of bids because there are thousands of different types of NAICS codes. What's the NAICS code? It's the North American Industry Classification Code. There is a classification code for every type of business. And every 2 to 3 years, they're constantly upgrading the North American Industry Classification Code. So if you don't know what that is, I would definitely advise that you join our challenge to learn more and to learn all the tips and tricks of what you're going to need to be ready and armed to win big. Someone that I was working alongside, and I never understood what I was going through, but it was definitely psychological. It was definitely mental. I see myself as a relatively strong person, and I used to come home and cry every day.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was mentally exhausted. Yeah. And the company saw that, and then they said, okay, we see what's happening here, because the last set of folks weren't able to stay at nearly as long as I was able to stay. Yeah. And then you know what they did? They said, okay, we got something for you. And they sent me up to Anchorage, Alaska for a few months to work a job, right? And then they said, oh, we've rehabbed. I'm not your psychological experiment for you to play with me. So when I came back, I just realized, at least for me, my experience has taught me that I will be a political football.
Right.
And so long as they see value in me, that's why they offered me the opportunity to continue.
Right.
And I said, no, sir. No, sir.
Yeah.
And so I think I was home for like another month or so before they terminated. And I'm going to tell you, I had nothing. But I'm going to tell you something. There's something to be said when your back is up against the wall and you don't have it like that. Yeah. You just become like all of the things that you need to do. It just comes to you just naturally. It's like you start making the phone calls. You start getting into the hustle. You start doing whatever it is that you need to do. And what's so wild and crazy is people were offering me jobs. And you know what I said? I said, I'm a person of faith and I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
I can't. How many of us sit down in these job interviews and we lie and we talk about how ready we are to do this work, right? But so for me, I will definitely say, I'm getting y'all out as quickly as possible, whether you're ready or not. Because sometimes, even when a child is starting to walk, they're not ready. Yeah. They're like hesitant.
Yeah, of course.
But they do it.
Yeah.
And they do it because they see other people doing it, so they know it's possible. And the thing about the wealthy, which I find is so interesting that you mentioned about like, MTV and BET, like they love to flaunt it, right? They love to show you it can be done. Yeah. But that also acts as an inspiration for all of us to say it can be done.
True.
It should be done, right?
Absolutely. And like you said, it's like, it's for me, it's been the freedom. And I think the freedom of it all is that goal, but it's also what makes you happy. And what makes you fulfilled when you wake up in the morning. And that's why for me, getting people to that lion place or even if it's one thing, you could be a lion and be doing one thing, you know, but how are you doing it? Are you doing it with excellence? Are you changing the world? Are you a trailblazer? You know, are people following you? Another thing interesting that you said was when we're down, lions move differently when we're wounded than zebras do.
Talk to us. Educate.
Now, when a zebra is down, depression, deep depression, that's hard to get out of. They go into fight mode, flight mode. They go into internal issues, stress, heart conditions. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And sometimes they sit in that for years. I mean, I've watched family members, friends, people that I've loved fall victim to being a wounded lion, being a wounded zebra and not being able to get out of it. Whereas a wounded lion, we study the failure or the loss. We separate ourselves from it. So we don't say, where did I go wrong? We say, where did this go wrong? And we reframe it and we learn from it. We might be hurt, might be a tad depressed, but we don't stay in it too long. We're not going to talk about it over and over again because it's not getting us anywhere. See, we recognize that we have to get up, we have to take action, we have to pivot. I call it the power of the pivot, right? You have to be able to pivot. Life is going to life. Things are going to happen, but you have to learn how to limp through that thing. You have to learn how to keep pushing forward no matter what. I took a $200,000 loss. And when I took that $200,000 loss, I mean, that's a lot of money to lose. And I remember trying to figure out how I was going to get out of that. And I'm like, man, it took me 5 months to get out of it. And some people, it's a lifetime. Like, it's over, you know, deep depression, darkness, alcohol use, drug use. I mean, it really can get bad. So that's why I teach people, like, you have to go through this life strong-willed and know that you might have your lion season or Job seasons, but it's all in how you get through it.
So powerful, so powerful. So talk to our audience about like what you do, how it can help them. I know you have like coaching sessions, you do mentorship. I don't know what you call it because I know I'm funny. I'm like, I do mentorship. I don't do coaching, you know? So everybody's
these words.
Right. Everybody's different in what they call it, but you know, just share with our audience a little bit about like, if they wanted to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
So what I'm really good at is helping people what I like to call brand your brilliance. And it starts with your name. I'm the person that uncovers all the things that you should be building and or leveraging with your name. Because I feel like if we start there, most traditional people are going to start with their business and their brands first. And I'm shaking that up saying, no, let's start with you first and put everything else around you. That's the difference. And so once we do that, I'm really big on like showing you how to brand your brilliance so everything you touch turns to gold. I do that through my coaching program and my camp. So I do a 2-day camp at my house where I really teach you how to do those things.
Girl, you bringing them to your house.
Yes,
You bringing
I
folk
do.
to your
Yes,
house.
yes.
Listen, she loving y'all, okay? She loving y'all.
I do for 2 days. And it's so life-changing. It's so dynamic. The one-on-one is dynamic too, but at the end of it, you will have $1 million brand. You will be able to build your authority, build your celebrity brand if that's what you want to. Build your books, write your memoir. I mean, I teach something called the red apple theory. And I've been teaching this for 15 years. And in that theory, it's like, how do you become, if you look at a basket full of green apples, I feel like that's everybody in the world. How do you be that red apple? How do you be that red apple in a basket full of green to make you stand out? And basically what I look at is, what have you been through? What are you the first of, only of? What can we tap into that make you so unique? Or something that you've gone through where if you tell it to me, I'm going to say, wow, you've been through that? See, I take all that. I take that pain. I take the story. I take your name and I figure out how to leverage that so that you can get paid. Let me tell you, I had a relationship that ended. So I wrote a book about him.
Who hasn't? Who has not?
Wrote a book, wrote a script, wrote a one-woman show. But that's just to show you that as a lionpreneur, I don't sit in pain. I leverage it. I turn that pain into purpose, into profit, and make it happen. So, but yeah, so that's what I do through my agency and travel all over the world and really just helping people build.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining us, Tiana Von Johnson. Listen,
that would be me.
Listen, the power in the name, honey.
Power in the name.
And we look forward to hopefully even bringing you back again because you are a whole
Let's get some tips. Let's do a whole lesson.
Okay. thank you so much for being here today. And with that, thank you all of you for joining us on this podcast session for the day. And we want you all to go out there. And the reason for this podcast, the premise is so that you can go out and win big.